Quandrix enters the battlefield, double the number of +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever Tenazir Quandrix attacks, you may have the base power of toughness of other creatures you control become equal to Tenazir's Quandrix power and toughness until the end of turn. I love this jabroni. When he enters the battlefield, it's like, surprise, mother truckers. And when he attacks, it's like, surprise, mother cruckers. You can just slam all your counters on this guy and then pump your squad, boy. Hamza, Guardian of Arashina. 6 mana, 5/5. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. And creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each other creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. The second you have 4 creatures with +1/+1 counters on them, you basically get rid of all the colorless mana from all the creatures in this deck. Atraxa has no colorless, but you get rid of the commander tax, and that's pretty nice, yes.
Sad.
Vericlix, Monstrous Raider. Okay, here we go. 6 mana, 6/6, Trample Haste. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice as many of each of those counters instead. If an opponent would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half that many of each of those kinds of counters on that permanent or player instead. Rounded down. I hope you understood that. I know I said earlier I try not to swear in my videos, but green just has those cards that make me want to go, what the fuck? And I'm a victim of it. I actually made a real commander with Vorinclex. Why? Proliferate, when you can just alt your planeswalkers the second they ETB. I mean, green, come on. Now for our Painwalkers. I said I wanted to play a lot of new cards in here, so we're gonna do just that. This is a creature heavy deck, so usually you want to play these guys once you have blockers. And don't worry if they die, these are here to support the deck more than being actual win cons compared to my first deck tech. Basiliqueta, 3 mana, 3 loyalty counters, +1. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. -2. Whenever 1 or more non-token creature attacks, this turn create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. -6, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token and put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Seems pretty good. Turn 3 Bastet, turn 4 Atraxa, +1/+1 counter, then Proliferate. That's a nice, tasty, delicious curve if I ever saw one. Teferi, who slows the sunset. I don't know why this thing triggers me so much. He's a 4 mana, 4 loyalty counter, +1, choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap those chosen permanents you control, tap the chosen permanents you don't control. You gain 2 life. -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. -7, you get an emblem with, untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step. Pretty versatile, tapping, untapping, and card advantage. Seedborn Muse alt, Seedborn Muse, another what the fuck green card. Lolth. Spider Queen, 5 mana, 4 loyalty counter. Whenever a creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Lolth. 0, you draw a card and you lose a life. -3, create 2 2/1 black spider creature tokens with menace and reach. That's pretty good. And -8, you get an emblem with, whenever an opponent is dealt combat damage by 1 or more creatures you control, if that player lost less than 2 life this turn, they lose life equal to the difference. If you play Arena, you saw this card in action and it's pretty gnarly. You know what they say, shitting out spiders to protect your walkers. Ren N7, 5 mana, +1, reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all land cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest in your graveyard. Oh my god! 0, put any number of land cards from your hand onto the battlefield tap. -3, create a green treeful creature token with reach and its power and toughness is equal to the number of lands you control. And -8, return all permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. You get an emblem with, you have no maximum hand size. Mainly here for the giant treefolk with reach that can defend your other planeswalkers, let's be real here. Mordina Kainina, 6 mana, 5 loyalty counter, +2, draw 2 cards and put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. -2, create a blue dog illusion creature token with this creature's power and toughness is each equal to twice the number of cards in your hand. And -10, exchange your hand and library, then shuffle, you get an emblem with, you have no maximum hand size. I'm a sucker for planeswalkers that can make tokens. I kind of feel like it's a 2 for 1, and this jabroni has built-in card advantage as well. What? Oh. And to finish up, Professor Onyx, also Liliana, 6 mana, 5 loyalty counter, Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. +1, you lose 1 life. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. Yeah boy, get your card advantage right here, get your creature removal right here, get a Planeswalker ultimate pretty damn fast with the tracks. Here you go, everything you need, Professor Onyx, ladies and gentlemen. That's all for today, folks. Feels good to be back and I cannot wait to see what 2022 has in store for us all. Have a great year and don't forget, we're here for a silly goose time and that is it. Bye-bye. Hi mate, my name is Arthur Cavendish Strathmore and I just started playing Elder Dragon Highlander, or like you peasants like to call it, Commander. It came to my attention that dragons are by far the most powerful tribal, so for my first deck ever, I must build a Dragon Tribal Commander deck. Yes. I think we've all been there before, or at least thought of it. Commander got some new sweet-ass tasty dragons in the past couple of years, so I think it's about time we build a 2021 version of the Tribal Commander deck, There's a couple of ways to help support this channel, and the easiest way is to like and subscribe. Wow, so easy! Another easy way to help support me is by using my affiliate links in the description. And the final way you can help support the channel is by supporting me directly by becoming a patron, where you can vote for patron selected commanders and get some behind the scenes action. The best way to help grow this channel is with the help of you guys. This video is sponsored by Collect Edition. They have a huge commander inventory and worldwide shipping, so check them out with the link in the description. The Dragon? The Dragon.
What is this?
4 mana, 1 color of each, 10/10, Flying Dragon Avatar Eminence. As long as the Dragon is in your command zone or the battlefield, other dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Wow! Whenever one or more dragons you control attack, draw that many cards, then you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. So hey, guess what we're gonna do with this deck?
Wait, let me explain something to you.
Attack and win, that's it, that's all. Not complicated, right? First off, we got some removal dragons and removal cards, 2 for 1, baby. Then we got our tasty dragon treats, no, threats, the win con. You win it, you con it, win con. And to finish off, some condoms, protection, and a teeny bit of ramp, some fucking big ramp, okay? Big, huge, freaking ramp. So yeah, I mean, you play your dragons and you attack, there's not much else to it, but you know, hey, we'll see some dragons, which, hey, that's pretty nice, so shall we begin?
Fucking A.
I like dragons that have some built-in removal. It's like, yeah, I'm a threat, but before I continue, let me kill your threat. Glory Hullbringer, 5 mana, 4/4, flying haste. You may exert Glory Bringer as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. So yeah, cost 4 with your commander, and that seems pretty cheap for a 4/4 flying haste that whacks another creature for 4. Value. Scourge of Baklava, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, 4/4 flying dragon. Whenever Scourge of Valkas or another dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Pay 1 red, Scourge of Valkas gets +1/+0 until end of turn. ETB is the best. Just keep playing dragons and keep shooting stuff. No need to be a rocket scientist. Thunder Meow Hellcat. 5 mana, 5/5 flying haste. When Thunder Meow enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control. Tap those creatures. Little annoying 1/1 flying tokens. Be gone! Shalomgar, the Drifting Death. It's not too menacing. 6 mana, 3/7 flying X-Boof. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures defending player controls get -1/-1 until end of turn. Even better than the Thundermaw. Thundermaw, hell, get out of here, little blockers. Get him out of here. Oh, this guy, Balefire Dragoon, 7 mana, 6/6 flying. Whenever Balefire Dragon deals combat damage to a player, it deals that much damage to each creature that player controls. I feel like I'm at McDonald's every time I whack a player with this, cause c'est salty. Reusitaru at the falling Tartaru. 6 mana 5 flying a dragon or spirit. When you're falling a star dies, it is a 5 damage to each creature with a flying. Yes, hey, speaking of wrecking everything but your board, take a look at these. Santa Claus's Will, X, 2 red, a green, instant. Choose one if you control your commander. As you cast a spell, you may choose both. Breath Flame. Cheesy. Claus's Will deals X damage to each creature without flying. Or Smash Relics. Means nothing. Destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments. Wax everything but your board. Give me more. Murk X, 2 red, instant. Magma Quake deals X damage to each creature without flying and each planeswalker. Everything but your stuff. Give me more.
Give it to me now!
Draconith Intervention. 4 mana, sorcery as an additional card. As an additional cost. Because it is an additional cost. It makes no sense. As an additional cost to cast this spell, exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Draconith Intervention deals X damage to each non-dragon creature. Hey, that seems pretty good, where X is the exile's card's mana value. If a creature dealt damage this way would die, exile it instead. So yeah, for 4, it seems pretty good though. You mean, you gotta get an instant and a sorcery, but I mean for 4, it seems pretty good. And Crux of Fate, destroy all dragon creatures or all non-dragon creatures. Just make sure you choose the right mode, because then it's gonna be pretty bad for you. So just destroy all non-dragon creatures. That's what you get. You know, you choose one. You have one chance. You know, there's 2 options. Just make sure you choose it, because it's gonna be a bad day for you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my creatures, hello. Your creatures, bye-bye, goodbye.
You get nothing! You lose!
Now for the threats, the big ones, the big freaking juicy pepperoni on my freaking 12-inch Subway teriyaki extra jalopy Subway. Terror of the Peaks, 5 mana, 5/4 flying. You know what this guy does. Warstorm Surge on a creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to the creature's power to any target. This guy, it's about time you play him in every red deck, because he's that good. Hello. Scourge of the Game of Thrones. Because of the throne, 6 mana, 5/5 flying, dethrone. Whenever Scourge of the Throne attacks for the first time each turn, if it's attacking a player with the most life or tied for most life, untap all attacking creatures. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Yes, extra combat steps. The GG, give it to me. It's mine. Lathless.
Shut up!
Dragon Queen, 6 mana, 6/6 flying. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a 5/5 red dragon creature to go and flying. Pay 2 dragons you control, get +1/+0 until end of turn. Oh my god, please, Mama Dragon, birth out even more dragons for me. Yes, Mama. Atarka, World Render. 7 mana, 6/4 flying trample. Come on. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. Yeah, pretty scary. Pretty much a win con if you have a couple of dragons out, which you should be playing. Okay? Hellkite, 8 mana, 6/6 flying. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Oh, this one is ouchie with Terror of the Peaks. Ouchie, more like... well, ouchie, yeah, that's what I wanted to say, yeah. Hellkitty Courser, 6 mana, 6/5 flying. Whenever he enters the battlefield,
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
you may put a commander you own from the command zone onto the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to the command zone at the beginning of the next end step. So yeah, how about you meet my commander and take 10 damage in your face while you're at it? Then he has to fly. So this is all just-tastic, but you know who the best threat of the deck is? Your freaking commander. Look at, oh my god, he's a dragon avatar.
Yeah, boy.
Oh my god, 10/10 flying, you know, when he attacks, or any amount of dragons attacks, you draw that many card, and then you freaking put a permanent in, like, you know, he is a threat. You play your tons of dragons, everybody's like, oh my god, we're gonna freaking die, we gotta kill those dragons, and when all your dragons are dead, you drop this freaking jabroni. To me, can you, like, come on. Okay. Now for some protection and ramp and, you know, just a couple of cool cards that I really like. Thunderbreak Regent. 4 mana, 4/4 flying. Whenever a dragon you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, Thunderbreak Regent deals 3 damage to that player. Mainly here because you get a 4/4 flyer for 3 mana in this deck. No. I'm not the mathematician, but that seems like good value. Scale Lord Raccooner. Oh, this guy, just wait, his name is cool, just wait till you just make 5 mana, 4/4 flying. Whenever a dragon you control becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. This one is bonkers. Please target my dragon so I can blow some stuff up. Do it! Dragon Lord Dramoka, one of my favorites. 6 mana, 5/7. Can't be countered. Flying, lifelink, your opponents can cast spells during your turn. Yeah, more like Dragon Lord, fuck your Cyclonic Rift, am I right? Bladewing the Raisin looks like a little raisin for me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, 4/4 flying. Whenever Bladewing the Raisin enters the battlefield, you may return target dragon permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Pay 2 dragons you control, get +1/+1 until end of turn. So yeah, a little bit of recursion. That's always nice, yes. Patriarch's Bending. 5 mana, each player choose a creature type. Each player returns all creature cards of the chosen type from his or her graveyard to the battlefield. Now, amazing card, but just make sure you don't name Merfolk, otherwise, it's not that good. Hey, a card I never seen before. Steely Resolve. Look at this freaking card. 2 mana enchantment. As Steely Resolve enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures of the chosen type can be the target of spells or abilities. Yeah. I just discovered this card and man, it's pretty bonkers. Usually in an elf tribal deck, you're gonna target your creatures. So yeah, it's maybe not that good, but in this deck, it's pretty good because we don't target our dragons, never. Hey, why play Cultivate when you can play this freaking jabroni? 7 mana, 4/4, pay 10 life, untap all lands you control. Activate only once each turn, so yeah, drop him, pay the life, drop another one. And for one, we're referring as a dragon. Like dropping another, you untap your lands and then you drop another dragon because that's what we're playing. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Gold member dragon, yeah, my favorite new dragon. Come on, gold member dragon. 5 mana, 4/4 flying haste. Whenever he attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have, sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any color. Ramps for days and works wonders with our next dragon. Holy guacamole. You wanna get the new Gnawbone, mother trucker? Wait till you see the old Gnawbone. 7 mana, 7/7 flying. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. What the Jesus, eating a bologna sandwich on a Tuesday morning? That many treasures? So yeah, that's just like a freaking a lot of treasures, bro. I don't know what to tell you. And Santa Claus Unrivaled Ancient. Ooh. 7 mana, 4/4 flying haste. Whenever Cloth Unrivaled Ancient attacks, add X mana of any combination of colors, where X is the total power of attacking creatures. Spend this mana only to cast spells. Until end of turn, you don't lose this mana as steps and phases end. Yeah, talk about emptying your hand. This one is really sweet. And that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Dragons are freaking awesome, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.
You're an amazing creature.
Muldrota.
You and I are not so different.
I'm not like you. You're a murderer.
Well, to each his own. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while, the people of this city. But the one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother?
Alright, no one asked for it, so here it is. Alright, today we have a special guest. She's one of the most popular commanders of all time, the brilliant and sexy Muldrota. But before we dive into our deck tech, here's a word from our sponsors. Alright. Chicken fried noodle, yeah. Chicken fried noodle, yum. Chicken fried noodle. Welcome back. Now you've seen these little noobs play Muldrota like they could actually play Magic the Gathering. Well, Daddy's here for a lesson, folks. Put down your double Pokemon sleeved budget Muldrota decks. And tune in for the new Dodge Viper V12 limited edition Muldrota deck. Do it! Alright, so what's broken? Lands. What's the synergy with this deck? Landfall. Do I really like landfall decks? Yes, I do. Why Muldrota? Because f you and your friends.
There are bigger things happening here.
Landfall is just the shell of the deck, and you can play whatever you like. You can go full control or full reanimate, but the Landfall shell mixed with Muldrota's card advantage and removal makes for a pretty powerful deck. First off, card advantage. What up? Makes all these noobs look like pros. Easy card advantage with the queen of card advantage. Then removal. Duh. What to play to make your friends pay is what my ex used to say before she scooped to my Muldrota deck.
It's a bad joke.
After that, of course, our landfall shenanigans. Then how to end the game with the least effort humanly possible. Told ya this is an easy mode, Commander. Before we start, let's take a look at Muldrota. 6 mana, 6/6. During each of your turns, you may play up to one permanent card of each permanent type from your graveyard. Okay, you get the jizz? So first off, we want to get locked and loaded with our card advantage. Take things easy early game and don't be the threat that's gonna come later on. Fact or fiction, don't matter what hits the graveyard, you can just bring it back with the queen. Reveal the top 5 cards of your library and opponent separates those cards into 2 piles. 2, put 1 pile in your hand and the rest in your graveyard. It doesn't matter, I'm telling you, this is a fact. It's not fiction. I guess see what I did there? Moltokyo Drifter, evoke for 3. When she enters the battlefield, it's an elemental, but it looks like a fish, whatever. Draw 2 cards. Recast it with Muldrota, you're drawing 3 cards a turn. Can I get a woohoo? Woohoo! River Shelby. What the hell is this? Looks like a beast, looks like a freaking nightmare.
To them, you're just a freak.
Anyways, cost 5 is a 3/3 beast, whatever. Whenever River Kelpie or another permanent enters the battlefield from a graveyard, draw a card. Whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, draw a card. So you'll be drawing 2 cards each time you cast a permanent card from your graveyard. This is why Muldrota is so popular. You see, you don't even need to try, you'll be drawing your whole freaking deck. It's so easy. Mystic Jason Remora. Draw a card each time a player casts a non-creature spell unless they pay 4. Cumulative upkeep 1, but you know, let's face it, don't pay the upkeep fee. Just cast it from your graveyard for 1 each turn with Muldrota. Uh-oh. Omen of the Sea is a 2 mana enchantment flash. When Omen of the Sea enters the battlefield, scry 2, then draw a card. Pay 3, sacrifice Omen of the Sea, scry 2. Pretty good. Greater Good. This is the greater of the good cards. Sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, then discard 3 cards. I mean, pretty dumb. Doesn't matter what you draw or what you discard, you'll just be filling up your hand and your graveyard. This is an auto-include. Commander Sphere, add 1 mana of any color and sack for a 0 mana to draw a card. Then what do you do? Do you understand now? What do? We cast it again from your graveyard and then we sack it again and we draw another card. What the hell?
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
This is what Muldrota is all about. Jay-Z had 99 problems, but card advantage ain't one. Easy mode activated. Go crazy with card advantage. You can look up whatever you like, play whatever you like. The goal is to go crazy before turn 6, then drop Muldrota on turn 6 and recast everything from your graveyard. The value is real, ladies and gentlemen.
You want forgiveness?
Okay, plain and simple. Now we want things we can recur over and over again from your graveyard and be the biggest pain in the butt. Imagine if we could bring back Kobe Bryant over and over again. Would that be good? Well, that would be amazing, buddy. Gravebreaker Lamia.
What are you?
What the heck is a Lamia? Let me go check Lamia. What the hell? What the? Anyways, she's a 5 mana 4/4 lifelink. When Gravebreaker Lamia enters the battlefield, search your library for a card and put that card into your graveyard, then shuffle your library. Spells you cast from your graveyard cost 1 less to cast. I've actually never seen this card live before. I mean, it's pretty much auto-included any graveyard deck, and especially with Muldrota, you have to put it in. Intuition, I mean, you better follow your intuition with this one. It's a 3 mana instant. Search your library for up to 3 cards and reveal them. Target opponent chooses 1. Put that card into your hand and the rest in your graveyard, then shuffle your library. This is almost a 3-card demonic tutor with Muldrota. Yeah, pretty broken. ACCDC.
These weirdos all gotta have a name now.
He's a 5 mana, 4/6 Death Touch exploit. When CDC Undead Vizier exploits a creature, you may search your library for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Who needs kill when you play Muldrota? Then you can just recast a creature you sacrifice with I mean,
I never thought he'd really do that.
Buried Alive and Entome. I mean, your graveyard is basically your second hand, so you're basically putting stuff into your hand, kinda. Well, I wish I had stuff in my hands. Survival of the Fittest and Birthing Pod. Get the pod if you're poor and on the budget, but if you're not, well, get both, because you'll never be the greatest Pokemon master ever if you don't play these two cards. Listen up, buddy, Amazon is here and they have your removal package. Shriekmaw, evoke for 2. When Shriekmaw enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature.
If only I could cause you the pain that you've caused me.
That's pretty good. You can cast it every turn, and it's gonna sack himself, so you don't need a sack outlet. It's pretty good. Platecrafter, kind of the same deal. When Platecrafter enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Each player who can discards a card. It doesn't matter what you sacrifice, you'll just bring it back. Spore Frog, Omega Lul, playing versus aggro, rolling on the floor, laughing, Rafflecopter.
Even to a guy like me, that's cold.
The Eldest Reborn. It's a 5 mana saga, enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker. Then, on the second turn, each opponent discards a card. Then on the third turn, put target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. Getting to cast this over and over again, man, the engine, the value, it's so good. And the art is nice as well. Now this one's a personal favorite of mine. It's a 7 mana saga, Kiora Best the Sea Gods. Create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. What the hell? Tap all non-land permanents target opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. And then at 3, gain control of target permanent and opponent controls. Untap it. Getting to cast this over and over again, I mean, hey, release the Krakens! Next up, Glenelandra Archmage. She's a 4 mana, 2/2 flying. Pay 1 blue, sacrifice Glenelandra Archmage, counter target non-creature spell. Persist. With enough mana, you can basically lock the game with this creature. It's so good in this deck. Seal of Primordium. It's a 2 mana green enchantment. Sacrifice Seal of Primordium. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Pretty basic, pretty auto-include. Castic Caterpillar does the same thing, but it's an insect.
Cause you freaking pricks!
Now for your mass removal. No, not freaking damnation. No, not freaking Day of Judgment, because that's white and you can't play that in this deck. Phyrexian Scriptures. It's a 4 mana, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. That creature becomes an artifact in addition to its other taps. Okay. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Okay. Exile all cards from all opponents' graveyards. Okay. So, I mean, you can cast this the first time, transform Muldrota into an artifact, then keep casting it over and over again, wiping the board over and over.
No! What are you waiting for? Do it!
And na 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 na, and I love you forever, forever. And Pernicious Deeds. 3 mana enchantment. Pay X, sacrifice Pernicious Deeds. Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment when converted mana cost X or less. Once again, board control, casting this over and over again. So annoying. Jeez Louise. And a couple of instant removal cards because Solte has the best removal in the game. Mana Drain, Beast Within, Assassin's Trophy. You can play whatever you want here, but these are all 3 auto-includes in my opinion.
That's my opinion!
Okay, now for the landfall stuff, bro. Multiple land drops per turn. Can I get a gnarly dude kicking it, my broski man, dude? Azusa, 3 land drops per turn, bro. Exploration, 4 land drops per turn, bro. Wayward Swartooth, dude, 5 land drops per turn, bro.
Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they?
The Jitrog monster? Oh my god, it's a frog horror? Oh my god, 6 land drops per turn, bro. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, 7 land drops per turn, bro. Oracle of Muldaya? Like Muldaya has an oracle? Like 8 land drops per turn, bro. What the hell, bro?
What the fuck?
And now what to do with all these landfalls, you ask? My dudes, watch and learn.
Nothing is impossible!
Rampaging Ballot lets you put a 4/4 Lindsay Lohan token each time you get a landfall trigger. It's like Mean Girls all over again. Royal Elemental lets you steal a creature each time you get a landfall trigger, my guy. My guy. And Kobe Nixilis the Fallen, rest in peace Kobe, deals 3 damage to anyone each time you get a landfall trigger. Hey, what about a newer card that's really dumb in this deck?
And you didn't disappoint.
Uro, why need to escape? Cast them over and over again each turn. Oh, but boy, this is so annoying.
You've changed things.
Annoying. World Shaper, he's a 4 mana 3/3. Whenever World Shaper attacks, you may put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Okay, we'll just say it right here. You mill yourself for 3, okay? You don't need to put so much text like, geez Louise, we get it, mill yourself. When World Shaper dies, put all land cards from your graveyard onto the battlefield tap.
Make your dreams come true!
And nice guy Gary, Sakura Tribuilder, sacks himself so you can recast him over and over again. Don't even need a sack outlet. Wow, it's so nice. We play a 1 Planeswalker in this deck, Nissa Vital Force.
Here I am.
+1, untap target land you control. Until your next turn, it becomes a 5/5 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. -3, return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. -6 is where the juice is at. You get an emblem. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. The thing is that she comes into play with 5 loyalty counters, then you +1 her. The turn after that you can alter right away. You don't see that often on the Planeswalker, altering the next turn it comes into play, but you know, she does it. She's amazing. We love her. She's in this deck. Okay. Tatyova, I actually played this as a general, and I gotta say I didn't make a lot of friends, but even without Tatyova, I can't make friends anyways.
But I know the truth.
She's a 5 mana 3/3 Merfolk Druid. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. Pretty simple, pretty amazing. Sylvan Safekeeper, 1 mana 1/1, sacrifice a land, target creature you control gains Shroud until end of turn. So sack a land to protect Muldrota, then you can play the land from your graveyard again. That's pretty good. Crop Rotation, the sauce for any landfall deck. Sacrifice a land, search your library for a land, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Pretty good, pretty good. You get to play the land you just sacrificed with Muldrota. I mean,
Bye, have a great time.
Realms Uncharted, it's like an intuition but for lands. Search your library for 4 land cards with different names and reveal them. An opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest in your hand, then shuffle your library. Constant Mists, I gotta say I constantly missed a lot of opportunities to lose games with this card. That's how good it is. Buy back, sacrifice a land. Creatures deal no combat damage this turn. So with Muldrota in play and 2 mana, you can cast this over and over again. It's pretty good. And just a couple of good lands because landfall deck, hello, go crazy with this, play whatever you like. I think these are pretty good. So I'm gonna explain them, I'm gonna play them, I'm gonna tell you what they do. You play them if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine.
New card.
Lotus Field. Lotus Field enters the battlefield tap. When Lotus Field enters the battlefield, sacrifice 2 lands, add 3 mana of any color to your mana pool. So yep, pretty good. Sack 2 lands, you can just replay them with Muldrota. It has hexproof, so that's pretty fun.
Oh, very nice.
Prismatic Pizza and all the fetches, to be honest, because you can just replay them from your graveyard. Pretty good. Anything you can sack and then bring back, amazing. Kevin Bacon, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, sacrifice Kevin Bacon, put your commander into your hand from your command zone. This is pretty dumb. You can sack it to bring back Muldrota into your hand, play Muldrota, recast the command beacon.
Excited.
Huh? See what's happening here? You'll never pay more than 6 for Muldrota. Strip Mine and Wasteland. With all these extra lands per turn, you can play them multiple times per turn from your graveyard with Crucible of Worlds and just destroy a lot of lands. I know, it's pretty nasty, but it's pretty good. So we're doing it. And of course the 3 cycle lands, because, you know, cycle, bring back, you know, you get the jizz. And now that you've overwhelmed your enemies with your easy over the top, easy mode noob card synergy, time to finish the game.
Nice.
And we do so with the best card in the deck, and one of the best cards ever printed, Scapeshift. Amazing with Titania, letting you create a 5/3 Lindsay Lohan token each time a land is put into your graveyard. Why not add in Rampaging Baloth? Lets you create a 4/4 Lindsay Lohan token for each landfall trigger. Or Tatyova, draw a card for each landfall trigger. What the heck? And Kobe Nixilis, rest in peace Kobe, deals 3 damage to any player for each landfall trigger. Any one of these is crazy with Scapeshift, but why not go even further? Once you've Scapeshifted, use Sylvan Safekeeper to sack all your lands, then cast Splendid Reclamation to bring all your lands from your graveyard to play.
I knew you two were in this together.
Big plays for big boys. Another easy synergy wombo is with Kakusho. Remember this guy? Yeah, with all this mana you'll have, you can cast him, copy him with Phyrexian Metamorph, sacrificing one of them, recasting the creature, sacrificing the other one, recasting the artifact, sacrificing the other one, then finally sacrificing the last one to deal a total of 20 damage to all your opponents.
There's no going back.
Or you can just use all that mana to make a giant Villainous Wealth, one card win, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, Villainous Wealth. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library. You may cast any number of spells with converted mana cost X or less from among them without paying their mana costs. Wow, how good is that? One card win, easy peasy. Thanks for watching. Ladies and gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for, presenting the 3-time NBA champion, the 7-time league leading in points, Yarok the King, desecrated! Now I'm gonna show you what it takes to be a basketball champion using Yarok. I'm not here to reinvent the rules of the game. This is gonna sound basic, but mother trucker, you need to get the basics right to survive in this league. Yarok the King is a 5-mana, 3/5 Death Touch lifelink. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. So let me get this straight. If Steph Curry enters the battlefield and gets 3 points, instead he gets 6? This is the major league, guys. Why get 1 enter the battlefield when you can get 2? Now let's MJ right into it. First off, you need to get juiced up with your card draw. Baleful Strix, 2-mana, 1/1 flying Death Touch. When Baleful Strix enters the battlefield, draw a card. You draw 2 cards if Yarok is on the battlefield. Coiling Oracle, 2-mana, 1/1. When Coiling Oracle enters the battlefield, reveal a top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, put that card in your hands. 2-time if the king is on the battlefield. Elvish Visionary, 2-mana, 1/1. When Elvish Visionary enters the battlefield, draw a card. Now you understand why we don't play Cultivate in this league. Do you understand why we rather play these jabronis instead of instant and sorceries that draw cards? Then if you don't, you should ask for a trade right now, dude. It's not gonna work here with your attitude, man. Now this guy here, Fiddletip the Lost. 2-mana, 1/1. When Fiddletip the Lost enters the battlefield, draw a card. If it entered from your library or was cast from your library, draw 2 cards instead. When Fiddletip becomes a target of a spell, shovel Fiddletip into its owner's library. Do not underestimate the former NCAA All-American champion, especially when paired with this little card right here, Guardian Project. 4-mana enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control, or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card. So technically, pay 2, draw 4 cards? This is not fair, man. Somebody called the ref up here. And now Big Mama All-American Women's Champion 4 times in a row. Prime Speaker Zagana, 6-mana, 1/1. Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among other creatures you control. When Prime Speaker Zagana enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power. So if you got 5 players on the battlefield, you draw 10 cards. This girl can shine once again side by side with the king. Now for the removal jabronis. We got a lot of entries in this year's draft, a lot of talent, but we drafted the best of the best right here for you guys. Ravenous Chupacabra, 4-mana, 2/2 black creature. When Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature and opponent controls. Duplicant, 6-mana artifact, 2/4. When Duplicant enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-token creature. Shriekmaw, 5-mana, 3/2, fear. When Shriekmaw enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. Of course, evoke. No defense is gonna do the job against these jabronis. They are the best of the best, and forget the rest. Now for your enchantment and artifact removal. The classics. Always here to give you a helping hand. Reclamation Sage, 3-mana, 2/1. When Rec Sage enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Acidic Slime, 5-mana, 2/2 ooze. Death Touch. When Acidic Slime enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. All of the juicy ETBs times 2. You understand now? Now for the ramp. When you need that extra juice for your players, you know what I'm saying. The dynamic trio from the Celtics. Wood Elf, Farhaven Elf, Springbloom Druid are gonna ramp you 2 times because of the king. And Big Papa Bellower himself, the captain of the team. When Woodland Bellower enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a non-legendary green creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. This guy is an all-star, great with the trio I just mentioned, but also extra juicy with our supporting players, Eternal Witness and Reclamation Sage. Now 2 little ETBs that work just great with your team. Runescar Demon, 7 mana 6/6 Flying Demon. When Runescar Demon enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library. This guy has been on fire since his big trade last December, racking up 2 demonic tutors. That is amazing. And Little Lady Spellseeker, 3 mana 1/1. When Spellseeker enters the battlefield, search your library for an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 2 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. She can grab anything you want, baby. Counterspell, Assassin's Trophy, Cyclonic Rift, Demonic Tutor. She is a valuable rookie in this season, so keep an eye on her, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're gonna take a look at a different strategy, a landfall strategy. Now that has proven to be devastating with Yarok in play. Let's dive into it. Risen Beef, former first round pick from Miami. Risen Reef, 3 mana 1/1. When Risen Reef or another elemental enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. If you don't put that card into the battlefield, put it in your hand. Now this jabroni fits perfectly with Zendikaar's Boil. 5 mana green enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. So here's a little combo. You have Zendikaar's Royal into play. You play Risen Reef, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it onto the battlefield. Then you put a 2/2 green elemental creature token onto the battlefield. Repeat the process. If you have Yarok into play, you do that 2 times, so you're almost gonna empty your library of lands. Nah, this ain't CDH, but it's pretty damn good. Now you can't have a landfall strategy without Azusa. 3 mana 1/2 human monk. You may play 2 additional lands on each of your turn. Just like Kawi back in Toronto, she is lost, but she is seeking, and I hope she stays in Toronto, to be honest. I know she's been burgeoning, and I know she's on some exploration lately, so I hope she finds what she's looking for. Now, Tatiova, the Cavs captain, after everybody thought she had to retire. Tatiova, 3 mana, 3/3, blue-green creature. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life and draw a card. And I got some insight you can only get here at Silver Wolf Commander. News has it, she's dating Referee, Avenger of Zendikar. 7 mana 5/5. When Avenger of Zendikar enters the battlefield, create a 0/1 green plant creature token for each land you control. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on each plant creature you control. These 2 lovebirds have been shifting scapes for quite some time now, you know what I mean? Yeah. But someone has something to say about it, and that is Kobe Nixilis the Fallen. Rest in peace, Kobe. Kobe is a 5 mana 3/3 demon. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player to lose 3 life. If you do, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up Nixilis the Fallen. This guy does not pass, but he don't need to because he shoots at his scores, baby! Now we in the finals, baby. NBA championship is here. This is what you came for. 1 ETB, 2 ETBs, 3 ETBs, 4 ETBs. That's all, folks. We can't get more than that. Right? 5 ETBs, 6 ETBs. There is no I in team, but there is an I in die. Come on, let's win this championship. Okay, now let's calm down just a bit, shall we? Crater Hoof Behemoth, just like Anthony Davis's eyebrow, he's big and he's here to stay. 8 mana, 5/5 haste. When Crater Hoof Behemoth enters the battlefield, creatures you control gain trample and gain +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Mix that up with Blade of Cells, baby. I was just kidding, guys. Let's get 8 ETBs. And with this, we win the NBA championship. So there you have it. We won the championship with Yarok. I know we left out a couple of good players, but there's so many good plays to make with the king, and we can't have them all right now. But subscribe if you like the video. This is my first YouTube video ever, and I will be giving you more tips and tricks to be a real NBA champion soon. Death of children younger than 5 is reported to be 5.3 million around the world in 2018, according to a UNICEF report. About 45% of deaths were due to undernutrition. In 2018, there were 18.1 million new cases and 9.5 million cancer-related deaths worldwide. By 2040, the number of new cases per year is expected to rise to 29.5 million and the number of cancer-related deaths to 16.4 million. On the Amazing and Sexy Silver Wolf Commander YouTube channel, more than 50% of viewers are not subscribed. It's time for change. Please, subscribe. There's a couple of ways to help support this channel, and the easiest way is to like and subscribe. Wow, so easy! Another easy way to help support me is by using my affiliate links in the description. And the final way you can help support the channel is by supporting me directly by becoming a patron, where you can vote for patron selected commanders and get some behind the scenes action. The best way to help grow this channel is with the help of you guys. This video is sponsored by Collect Edition. They have a huge commander inventory and worldwide shipping, so check them out with the link in the description. So I did the Tollivar deck tech, and all these little Twilight fans wrote to me asking for a vampire deck tech, and I was like, vampires? But they suck.
I was just kidding.
Get it? I really enjoyed doing the 2021 Kalia deck tech, and I think it's time to see what new toys Edgar Markov got in the past couple of years. Plus, it's October. We already got Tollivar, Edgar Markov. Things are looking pretty much on theme for Halloween. Next up, zombies maybe? Who knows? Who knows? Edgar, Jabroni, Markov. You know this guy. 6 mana, Marduk Commander, 4/4, Eminence. Whenever you cast another vampire spell, if Edgar Markov is in a command zone or the battlefield, create a 1/1 black vampire creature token.
You're a dork.
First strike, haste, and whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each vampire you control. Love him or hate him, he's the bee's knees of tribal decks. The damned to my damnation, the bitter to my bitter blossom, the deep anal to my deep analysis. Let the nonsense begin. First off, some new cool and sexy vampires. I jammed as much as I possibly could because that's kind of the goal of making an Edgar Markov deck nowadays, seeing some sweet ass tasty new shenanigans. Malkin Path, Shitfighter. 1 mana, 2/1, vampire, pay 2, discard a card, sacrifice a vampire, draw 2 cards, activate only if an opponent lost life this turn. Notice here, you don't need to tap this jabroni. You can keep paying 2 and sacrificing a vampire, then bada bing, bada boom, all-star vampire card draw. Next up, Bloodthirsty Adversary. 2 mana, 2/2, haste. Whenever Bloodthirsty Adversary enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counter on Bloodthirsty Adversary, then exile up to that many target instant or sorcery cards with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard and copy them. You may cast any number of copies without paying their mana cost. The whole cycle of adversaries are pretty dope from Innistrad, and we just happen to have a vampire. Yay! She's pretty bonkers late game, making you recast your Vampiric Tutor, Demonic Tutor, Clamperic Pooter.
I need my Christmas present.
Vampire Social Media List. 2 mana, 2/2 menace. When Vampire Socialist enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each other vampire you control. Pretty nice. As long as an opponent lost life this turn, each other vampire you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Ever wondered what to do with your non-social vampires? Just introduce them to vampires